All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. It is on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys locking in with us today. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. We're chasing down the heavyweights again today with the like buttons. They got to 150. We got to get to 150 today as well.
If only we could chase them down with our feet.
Well, we could
That'd be easy.
We could do that, yeah, for sure. I would just throw that baseball at him. Or football. Jared Goff accuracy right into easy.
I could.
How's that Jared Goff accuracy for you? Easy.
364 days for hockey season.
Hey, that'd be great. Hey, make sure you guys tell a friend about the stream though. Just let them know we're on tonight here talking Victory Monday. Don't want them to miss out. We're gonna get into this though. Two separate parts in this segment here. And I think it's a perfect. I think it's perfect to combine these two units together: the Detroit Lions running back crew and the Detroit Lions offensive line unit.
That's a Randy Johnson.
It is a Randy Johnson. It is a big unit. I think that those two together, and I was thinking about this before the show and earlier today because we keep talking about how great this running back duo is. And you know, me when I was doing socials last night and today a little bit, we put some posts out about is this the best running back duo in the NFL? I think yes, it is. And I think it's an easy yes, but it's hard to say. You're saying that, and you want to know why you're saying that is because they're running behind the best offensive line in the NFL. So that's why I wanted to put this kind of thing together here. Is I think they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Both of these units here, Broder.
Yeah, this was the vision of what Brad Holmes and Dane Campbell were thinking on draft day or leading up to the draft and then their draft picks. This is why Brad Holmes was slamming the table when they were able to get Jahmyr Gibbs. It's because of what they can do with this two-headed monster of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery behind the beastly offensive line that was finally healthy. I mean, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker shut down Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. They had 0 sacks on the day. They had, as a team, had 8 sacks 6 days earlier against the Jets. You could see just watching the game from the very beginning. In the first quarter, they had these runs. Right when the ball is snapped, that offensive line is 1, 2, 3 yards into the defender's zone. You were just talking about the Lions' defensive line in the rush game, how they were able to just stand up and build that wall, or I should say get low and build that wall to not let the offensive line push them back. That's exactly what the Lions' offensive line did. Jonah Jackson is back, and it made a huge, huge, huge difference. When they're healthy, man, it's not even just about the weapon. When this offensive line is healthy, there's no telling what this offense can do, whether you have a bunch of weapons on it or not. When you give Jared Goff time, when you give any running back time like that, good things will happen.
Yeah, and I mean, just look at this running back duo, Broder. These guys, they came out and they dominated yesterday. Jahmyr Gibbs, 112 yards, 5.5 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 116 total yards, 9.7 yards per carry and a touchdown. That is an elite crew there. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, what about the Dolphins crew there? Yeah, you could say them as well, but like the way these guys are kind of on this up here, if they both stay healthy, the next 2 or 3 years that they're playing together and you keep this offensive line together, there is no, like,
freakish.
I truly believe, to be honest, Jahmyr Gibbs, by the end of this season, you could sit there and say he's one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Without a doubt.
His skill set and what he does, I don't see if someone could tell me that like he's not. By the end of the year, he could be one of the top 5 running backs in the NFL.
Especially if they have games like this where he and Montgomery are both getting fed and both taking advantage of it. Like, the only thing I think that could hold him back is just not getting enough carries because they're feeding Montgomery. But we saw they split it up 14 and 12 this time. And how funny is it that the long touchdown run was David Montgomery, the 75-yarder. Jahmyr Gibbs gets, was it 2 in the red zone or 1 in the red zone?
Yep.
But they were feeding Jahmyr Gibbs in the red zone. I was waiting to see if they were going to bring Montgomery in, but no, it was, all right, Jahmyr Gibbs, we're going to do this. Let's go.
Yeah, stat here, too. Let me get my flannel bag real quick.
Get it.
Detroit Lions PR put out, the Detroit running backs have combined for 1,500 scrimmage yards in 2023. That is the second most among any team's running back unit.
Read those stats to me, Daddy.
Yes, Jeff.
Daddy.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you know what?
What?
They have both missed a combined 6 games.
Yeah.
2 and 4 maybe, or 2 and 3.
Maybe 4. I don't know. They missed a handful of games.
It was 3. So five games between the both of them. They missed 5 games, and right now they're second amongst any team's running back unit with 1,500 all-purpose yards. That is something that I think if they play every game and they kind of get on that incline together, you know what's kind of funny?
What, Booner?
A couple weeks, kind of week 1, week 2, the talk from about Jahmyr Gibbs from some people kind of reminds me of this bandwagon talk. It's like so many people are off Jahmyr Gibbs going about it. Oh, he's the 12th overall pick. All those people are praising him right now.
Yeah.
And they are so happy that Brad Holmes went out and traded back and took Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm going to read a comment from Flint, CJ. I'm going to say it like I think he was trying to say it. Does that make him worthy of the number 12 overall pick now?
Yes!
Thank you.
He is going to be one of the best running backs. I don't know how else to put it, Broder. He's going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL by the end of the season going into next year. People are going to look at him and be like, this guy is dynamic. He's a great football player. He can come out of the backfield and catch a pass and break off for 40 yards. He can go between the tackles and break out and go off for a 60-yard run. And he can go get you a touchdown if you're at the 1-yard line and punch it in. Jahmyr Gibbs is the real deal. That is a fact. I don't know what else to say. He is going to be one of the best in the NFL.
He's making some college running backs a lot of money right now, or at least more than they would have gotten next year as running backs continue to be phased out of the NFL. We were thinking, no, if they're in the right situation, if they're used the right way, a running back can be an absolute weapon to an offense, not one to shy away from. But if you find your guy, whether that's Jahmyr Gibbs at number 12 or Keaton Mitchell, see, undrafted or drafted real late, like he's exploding a little bit for the Ravens. Even Devon Achane for the Dolphins was a late round pick. I was kind of thinking maybe he'd end up with the Lions, but no. The running back position, again, if used properly, is an asset. It's a weapon. And Ben Johnson is a little forward. Brad Holmes knows exactly what this team's made of and their identity of the offensive line. They're the guys that are going to get paid too. Maybe Jonah Jackson, likely Jonah Jackson, but Penei Sewell, Colby Storsdale's coming up the ranks.
Yeah.
They're building this. They got 5 years of Jahmyr Gibbs. Having him run behind that offensive line was the plan all along. Yeah, with David Montgomery, he's not going to get all that wear and tear that most workhorses have.
I was shocked from David Montgomery yesterday. That 75-yard breakoff.
Yeah, I did not wiggle.
Dude, I did not expect I did not know he had that.
No, and
I had no clue.
We can't talk about that run without bringing up Jamo's block.
Yes.
I mean, that block, there's so much to unpack from it because it's just such a great football play. But that block actually was the difference between getting in the end zone. If he doesn't make that block, Asante Samuel is tackling David Montgomery, was it around the 20-yard line, 25, 15?
And he's been doing that all year.
All year. That's what that wide receiver room is made of. Jameson Williams, we've been frustrated a bit with his target share, his catching the ball and getting involved in the offense. But these are the things that Ben Johnson loves to see. These are the things that make a difference between a 7-2 team and maybe a 5-4 team. It's guys like Jameson Williams going out and doing the dirty work. So then when play action comes and the running backs need to block for Jared Goff so that Jameson Williams gets an extra split second to break free, that's where it just comes full circle. These guys are taught to do this, and they're drafted. Jameson Williams likes to hit. Like he's not a very big guy, but he's not afraid of contact. And Brad Holmes and Dane Campbell have talked about it, and we're seeing that now. What an amazing block. Craig Reynolds a couple weeks ago against the Bucs. These are the difference makers in a championship type football team and a mediocre football team. Beating the Chargers this game is what number one seeds do.
Yes.
This is what winning teams do. They win these games, whether it's 41-38 or 10-7.
Yeah, and I think the heart of this team, I'm starting to fall for it a little bit more. That offensive line is starting to make me really believe that, hey, if you didn't have these guys, Penei Sewell, I saw Neil today talking about, is he the best tackle or best offensive lineman in the NFL? I don't want to be like, yeah, he is. He's a slappy, but he's up there. And he's going to be an All-Pro this year. He's going to be in the Pro Bowl, and he's going to be considered one of the best. You're going to have to pay him one of the biggest contracts in the offense, as an offensive
reset the market. Yeah.
Yes, and he has been dominant. Neil, and I'm going to rewatch the game too, probably tomorrow, because Neil kept saying, "Go back and watch Penei Sewell. Go watch Penei Sewell."
It's special.
I saw a couple clips of him dominating. Like Tony Romo had a play where he literally took down 3 guys, and Tony Romo was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is different." And that's where I want to go back and see, because there is just, there are dudes, and then there's Penei Sewell.
He's different. He's athletic. He's huge, and he's. Wait, what happened?
No, I hit the wrong button for the.
All good. He's so special because it's a combination of having a finesse in terms of his hand placement, his footwork. He does everything like he's a 5'10" cornerback. He's quick. but he's 337 pounds and he can move, and he has the mentality. I want to crush the person across from me. Anyone in my pathway is going to be on the ground here in a second, and it spreads. That spreads to the entire team. He's a captain this year. He's a vocal captain for a reason. That offensive line is the heart and soul of this team.
They are.
And he is.
Without that offensive line, this team does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you could have all the weapons you want. You can have anything you want. You can have Jared Goff, whatever you want. But without an offensive line, like the top, like the best one in the NFL, this offense isn't top 5 in the NFL.
No,
this
not
offense
at all.
is the number 2 in the NFL right now. So yeah, I want to give the credit to them, because those guys. That was why in this segment I was like, we need to do the best running back duel in the NFL. Yes, but I wanted to talk about that offensive line. I'm not saying that offensive line, like, I don't want to take anything away from those running backs, because they both have been dominant. It's just more so like it's not that they're benefiting from it, but like they're already skilled and already a high level running backs, and then you add on a number 1 offensive line in the NFL. You're just like, it's just that much better.
Yeah.
Like, David Montgomery was putting numbers up when he was in Chicago with one of the worst offensive lines. He comes here and now, like, he's dominating. 75-yard run. Shout out to David Montgomery for that too, man.
And think about, real quick, last thing I'll say, I'll be quick, and it's is not to shame Trent Williams, who I do believe is the number 1 offensive lineman in the league, but Penei Sewell, when Taylor Decker was injured, Penei Sewell slid over to the left side and was just as good.
Yeah.
Like, not many tackles can do that. Trent Richardson, maybe. We're never going to see him do it, but he's that kind of athlete. I don't know, man. Penei Sewell is special. Booner.
Yes.
Before we come back and we're talking about that wide receiver weapon, number 14.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Tell 'em about where
we
you
have
can-
some flowers to give out as well.
We do. It's like Valentine's Day.